Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. CD in Wonderlands is a space for us to wander together, question life and question the way we live and systems that are imposed on us or assumptions we go by without questioning them. In my last video, I was feeling quite of upset and down, to be honest. I had been living for a long time abroad, and for 20 plus years, when I came back to my home country, Albania, I felt like people here don't speak up all the time. They kind of still struggle with a lot of injustice done from the government. And I was upset in my city at that time. There was still no one protesting against the government. As some of you might have seen now, it's been more than 30 days where people are protesting now. But in that video, which you can go and see, I was questioning how people here, not all of them, but many of them don't speak up against what is not right to them. And I was feeling very, very down and very upset and mixed feelings, to the point that after that video, I actually went and booked a flight to Italy. I'd been living in Italy for 10 years, and I always feel like going there. I feel like going home. There were my college years, and it's very peaceful to me to go back there. So I booked a flight, and I actually found a residence for about 3 weeks. And after that, though, the same day, I felt like this is not right. Even though other people don't speak up, I should be still being myself and be authentic to my own way of living, and I should be speaking up. So I started looking online for who is protesting and who is doing something in my city, at least. And I then followed my calling. I went and got involved to help the students who had started. At least they had posted something about the protests here in Shkodra, Albania. And after a few days from there, I actually went to Tirana, where thousands and thousands of people had gathered. And for 30 plus days, they had been protesting every day. It was very inspiring. It changed the way I was feeling here in Shkodra when I did that video. You can go watch that video. I wanted to wake up people because I felt like we should all do our duty regardless if we feel like other people in the mass is doing it. So I went to Tirana, felt very motivated to stay there, speak up with many, many more people. I met many friends and people I had not seen for years from diaspora who actually came back, and that is still going on to the point that few days earlier, some of those protests were not so peaceful. The cops were not acting in the right way, trying to arrest people. And I again felt very, very it was very hard to be in those emotions. I had to come back to my home city, Shkodër, and then in here I saw that people had stopped protesting, and I felt again very down. I felt like when is this going to change? And then I saw what is happening in other countries about the injustices and killing people, and the police acting in violent ways in different countries. And I just felt like, is there any hope, in the whole world altogether? I started questioning, are we slaves to these systems? And it just dragged me down. I stopped looking for my next publication. I'd finished a PhD in organizational leadership, and I was writing an article before the protest starting, and I was about to submit for publishing, and I stopped all of that because of the protest. But when I came back, I thought I'm going to go back to it. But then seeing what's happening around, I felt very demotivated. I felt demotivated about this channel. I felt like, what am I going to post here? Like, am I going to just share negativity? Am I going to share anger against these systems? Or am I just stopping this altogether because it sounds like fluffy? I tried to post a couple of shorts to keep you up to date with the protests that what was happening. But before those shorts, many of my videos were just like nature, good feeling. And it just felt very chaotic. Like, where am I going with the channel itself? And does this even make sense? All that's happening in the world. And here I am posting a video about nature and a flower and all of that. But at the same time, I started thinking that if I focus just on the negative side and what's happening, then that will not also take me anywhere. And I should, of course, continue to speak up. And here is actually a book that I recommend from Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. I read The Power of Now from him, and I read many other books about presence and focus on the energy that we want to use in a positive way. And as they say, where energy goes, energy flows. And it sounded like, am I being now just taking my luxury away of sitting back and not doing anything about it? But I had to stop social media, just deactivate it for some days. I really needed to preserve my energy. I'm an empath and I absorb other people's energies. So I have to always be careful of where I put myself, because I got really, really involved. I had a very tough speech at the protest against the government, straightforward towards what's going on. And all of this energy and seeing what's happening around the world kind of pulled me down. So I had to take some break, and I recommend you as well to do this and to focus, where can I put my energy? I got back to almost finishing. Now I just need to review my article for publishing, which is about leaders' role in creating culture of continuous improvement in the organizations and institutions they are at. I actually spoke on LinkedIn about leadership and the public institutions, because that's what's going on right now. And I even got invited to not cite certain organizations that teach leadership. And that got me even more mad, because I have a PhD in leadership. If I don't talk about leadership, who's going to talk about that? So there was a lot of mixed emotions during these weeks, and that's why I didn't even start sharing any long video. And I wanted to find some pathway, I would say, or some niche about the channel itself. Is a very new channel. In the past, I had another one which was about transformation, because I also worked in continuous improvement myself, operational excellence. So it's always about self-development and improvement at any institutions we work. But at the same time, I realized that I just want to share the way I think. I want to share the way I grow, how I change my mindset. I want to question together. I want us to have aha moments from one another. I don't want this to be a one-way space. I want this to be a common space. I want to build, I'm not saying friendships, because it's hard to build friendships in distance when you're not ever meeting, but by sharing, I want a community for whatever time that feels right to each of you, where we allow ourselves to sit back for a second and to question and reflect on what we're doing. Is this healthy for us? Is this healthy for the communities around us? What can we do about it? We got one life, at least on this planet, as long as I know and I'm aware of, and I just want this to be a meaningful one. I know that everything that happens to us is for a reason. At the same time, it's hard to just accept that we're slaves of other oligarchs and people around the world, the big guys who have controlled everything with their kind of hidden systems, which right now I feel like people are awakening, so there is not any more hidden ways of doing this. But what do we do about it? And all these big questions, which to me are simple, basic questions, kind of got me frozen. And that's why I wanted then to just share anyways, and share the fact that I don't know how I'm feeling. People ask, how are you feeling, and how are you doing? And this is a question we generally use to just use as a formal, respectful way to greet somebody. Hey, hi, how are you? But I don't feel like people always care to really know, and they have turned it into a habit, but not many actually care to know how you're truly doing. And what I want to do with this channel is for you to know how I am doing. I want you to know that I want to know how you're really doing, and you can share in the comments, you can write to me, and I would be glad to share my perspective on things. I want you to know that you are not alone. I've been following some YouTube channels, and I really care. I saw a guy who actually dropped his work. He was very burned out from that, and I really felt that, and I was really wishing he find his way. And I realized for about a month almost he didn't post as well, and I went back to his video and asked him, like, how are you doing? And all of a sudden, a few hours later, he posts a video where he says that many people had gone to him to ask how he's doing. So he felt like sharing that he's not feeling well, and he was not able to quit that type of work. So he had to go back to find another job, which is stable, to help his family. And I told him, it's okay, doesn't mean that it has to be a straightforward path. It doesn't mean that you only have to post your success stories. Here I am, I found this other better way of living. And you sharing that journey, it's also an authentic journey. It's also the real journey, because change and transformation comes with curves, and that's what happens at work as well when I worked in continuous improvement. So it's not always a straightforward path. So that kind of pulled me also back to my own self and say, I'm just going to share anyways where I'm at, how I feel. It's not easy here in Albania. I mentioned in my description of the channel that I had been living for 20 plus years abroad, and when I came back, it was not opportunity type of country, especially for my background in leadership and continuous improvement. No one has a PhD in leadership here in this country. And if you work in academia, you have to get paid less than a call center. So imagine how I feel being here. And if I try to go away, it's always this, I should stay because it's my country. If I don't stay, then who is going to stay? Many of intellectuals left. But at the same time, it's always a visa thing. So immigration, I might post another video about that. But it's not easy to stay here. And I feel like these YouTube channels are actually the perfect way to let other people know and to normalize when we're not okay, and to make that transition part of normality. Because by the time that we accept that whatever is happening for us, it's the right thing for us right now, it's very hard to find that reason. And sometimes we don't find it, but we just need to stay open, maybe to be curious about, okay, what is the reason why I'm still in this situation? And if I stay with that curiosity, I felt like that kind of lifted me up a little bit. And my friend, actually, she invited me. I'm going to share some video next to a camp resort that we have here in Shkodër, Albania. It's 15 minutes away. I try to do it like 2-3 days a year. So I might share her channel as well. You can go reach out. She's from US and moved here in Shkodër and quit everything there. So there is all these different perspectives and ways of living that I feel like we will find one another where we need to be at the right time. And these journeys are crossing for a reason. So if you are in this transition, I would call it. My entire life has been like that, having lived in so many countries and so many different type of jobs and cultures and education. So maybe transition and questioning are the key words for me, and always self-development, and without chasing to be perfect, because the perfect part is what pulled me stuck in the past, because I wanted to be always like improving, but never being okay with where I'm at. And now at this stage in life, I feel like I'm learning to be okay with also standing still and letting all this chaos go wherever it needs to go, and give it the direction that I feel and my intuition and my inner calling tells me it should go. So for right now, it is gonna be messy like this, and that's okay. I feel this is the best message that I got out of these past weeks, and I hope you as well. If you are in a transition state or somewhere that you feel like it's not where you want to be, I hope you take the space and time to accept and embrace that, and get whatever lesson and whatever message that is supposed to come to you, to embrace that and to just stay curious, even if those answers are not coming right away. Glad to share a little bit of updates. I will share more long videos. I was just doing the creative side of me, because I also love creating. I'm a Pisces, so I was putting a lot of shorts, but I will put more long videos, because my depth is really in the questioning, and it's way beyond watching something nice and sharing it. Nothing wrong with that, because it invites me to reflect as well. But the channel was for more depth versus just sharing some creative side. So I'll try to mix the two, so we can always find a space to meet together. Take care, and I wish you all the best, whatever that means to you. Take care.